So it's Sunday, the 28th January, and tomorrow then it'll be a week since I got dragged up to that kind of Dublin courts for the safety order by my ex, who never turned up. So it was a waste of a couple of weeks basically, the day before my father's anniversary. And there's a couple of things I wanted to say. About 3 weeks ago there I spoke, I made a video, and I spoke about a mate of mine who was being abused years ago. Was a, how will I say this there now? He's been abused years ago, and we used to be kind of taking drugs, and he used to be kind of saying that he was going to go home and kill himself, and I spoke about this in a previous video, and kind of lost touch with him then. But basically what happened then is he eventually done it. He eventually went and killed himself over what was actually going on, and I know what was going on with him. Actually, there's several people knows what was going on, and I spoke about this about 3 weeks ago. I didn't mention anyone's name. And I spoke with his father and I spoke with his sister and had permission to talk about this. I just won't mention his name for obvious reasons. It's like the powers that be, they know what I'm talking about for some strange reason. If you notice the last 3 weeks, the difference in the kind of push to kind of silence me, discredit me, and to shut me up. Do you know what I mean? Why would that be? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but that's political influence there now again with that. Person felt that he couldn't get he was kind of more embarrassed. I'm not going to get into it too much. He was kind of more embarrassed about it. Kind of, we were taking cocaine. It's a long time ago. Don't take any of that shit anymore. And kind of he was talking bullshit and that, and kind of like he was just telling me about it. And there's a couple of people knows what was going on there and knows who was behind it, and how certain people now are like high profile fucking people. Do you know what I mean? Links with other high profile people, basically getting their actions covered. This is a Waterford thing. As you know, I've been talking about several fucking corrupt situations, and I'm kind of getting over it at the moment. And I know I probably don't help myself with the use of bad language, because like, if I was to edit out all the bad language out of my videos, there'd be fucking, see, I just done it again, there'd be nothing left. But I just kind of, just because I'm using bad language, it doesn't mean I'm not speaking the truth, I'm telling the truth, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm trying to refrain from the bad language. But anyway, but my point is that I spoke about that about 3 weeks ago, and if you notice, look at the fucking look at the panic it's after instilling. I have Waterford Guardian now circling my apartment with the sirens on morning, noon and night. I have this clown above me, and after this video, I'll speak to my wife on video. I don't know if this is going to probably take 2 parts or 1 part, but it could be 2 part or even a 3 part. But I'll speak to me wife, because I want to talk about this clown that's up over us and the harassment that we're getting. But yeah, there's a lot of political influence going on to basically trying to silence me where I am. And our Minister of Justice, healy.exposing, is very aware of what's going on, and she's choosing not to deal with the corruption. So in a way, the state are fucking complicit to what's going on. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I haven't gone through the right protocol, and I went through kind of, I tried to deal with Waterford Council. They took 90% out of my file. 90% of my file was missing. So how can you deal with any kind of a complaint with that? Do you know what I mean? GSOC won't answer me. Do you know what I mean? Waiting for the statute of limitations run down. Now Helen McEntee, she knows all this. Have a solicitor in the previous case. She's caught red-handed by her own emails and the dates of her own emails. Like, you can prove she's shown to be a liar, and for whatever reason, she not only did she lie about saying that the 5 years was up, that she had to retain my file, it wasn't up, but she also deleted my file, an electronic file that she would have had to go out of her way to delete. And as I said, her correspondences shows that she's lying. But this is all documented, and the proof is there. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Waterford Council, Roisin Doherty and Leo Kennedy. These are 2 members of Waterford City Council. And when all this kind of pornography shit was spread around about me, and it was basically trying to put a run of me out of the town, being honest with this. I was in this kind of Balhoy thing run by this Anne Cardy, who had, and it's a crazy story. I don't like fucking talking about it because it's kind of embarrassing, fucking, do you know what I mean? And she had previous dealings with a minor where I was a witness in the case, and fucking she covered up allegations of sexual abuse. I spoke about this in previous videos. I'm not going to get into all of this, but all of this can be checked, or there would be files on this. James Kennedy, who was a social worker in Waterford Council, he drove us out. All of this can be checked, but they won't check this. Do you know what I mean? And they're infringing on my human rights to have something investigated, to have a complaint fully investigated without any kind of like prejudice or without, and to be unbiased. Do you know what I mean? And that's not what's happening. I've went through the system and they tried to send me back through the same fucking system again. Do you know what I mean? And because there's more of them and basically it's just me, like you just have to accept that. And I hear that once more, that fucking the system is corrupt and it's just the way it is. Like fuck that. Like, do you know what I mean? I put up a correspondence there from that Transparency Ireland who basically said that they've exhausted all avenues to basically fucking back out of it. Know what they told me originally? Just no word of it. Like, they actually told me, have I considered moving? This is the advice they gave me. Do you know what I mean? This is these clowns what they're fucking telling you in Ireland, that you can't stand up against the system. And this is kind of, and it's at the cost of me a lot, being honest with you. So I'm not going to fucking back out of it, being honest with you. But I can't deal with the European Union. I tried to deal with the European Union and they said that they can't deal with me unless I exhaust all domestic avenues of the complaints procedure, which is you make a complaint, then you appeal the process, and then you kind of get a final kind of ruling on it, and then you can take it to the European courts. And they won't do this. They're keeping me in this fucking weird grey area. Do you know what I mean? Like the documentation is there, the evidence is there. Do you know what I mean? They won't take the evidence, they won't take the documentation. I have the likes of Waterford Gardaí circling me apartment. This has gone on for years. Like, I don't want to fucking sound too kind of like fucking erratic, because this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to gaslight me. Do you know what I mean? They discredit me. This is basically what it is. And I'm sick to death saying I have no history of mental illness, and I don't. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm sure I don't fucking approach things in the normal manner where most people would. Do you know what I mean? I'm not willing to just lie down and be fucking bullied by this. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. Like, Helen McEntee needs to like step up to being the Minister of Justice. She works for the people. She's doing more for the politicians in Ireland as she's ever done for any of the citizens. She's aware that the Two Norries podcast in Cork had to issue me an apology over me poisonous ex being on the fucking show telling lies. And then she goes down and appears on the same show knowing that they had to issue me an apology. But getting back to what I put up that post about 3-4 weeks ago, I put up a video, and that's 100% true. Why would I make that up? Do you know what I mean? It's the same with like Roisin Doherty and Leo Kennedy getting cost search me mother show. Why would I make that? I'd have no reason to make something fucking so weird up. Their names and everything. Do you know what I mean? She rang me, she rang my brother. Like, do you know what I mean? Dirtbags. And they got covered up by Joe Daniels. This is 100%. The veil of fucking Sinn Féin covers up the corruption of Waterford City Council. I know I probably don't approach things in the kind of like manner that most people would, which is kind of concisely and probably without the bad language. And if you go to my earlier YouTube videos, they're probably even worse. And they could have taken down them and tried to portray myself as something. I could have tried to portray myself as calmer and kind of more concise, do you know what I mean? But that wouldn't have been fucking truthful to what was happening. Do you know what I mean? So that's why them videos are left up there, do you know what I mean? They're 100% true. Like, do people think that I enjoy putting myself through this fucking ridicule and to be fucking, you're basically opening yourself up to this embarrassment, to be fucking talking about stuff that's kind of highly embarrassing, fucking, do you know what I mean? It's emotional. Do you know what I mean? Think I enjoy doing this? Do you think I purposely put myself through this? Do you know what I mean? Like, our government is purposely looking the other way. Like that whole shit with children's grouping. That's 20 odd years trying to come out. So clearly it's been fucking covered up. And then you have the place being called Mary Halligan Foundation. Mary Halligan has a lot of questions to be fucking answered regarding what went on in children's group link. Do you know what I mean? She should have followed protocol. She should have filled out a report. And see, I know the answer to some of these, right, before I'm going to get into it, right? But she should have filled out reports of every time there was allegations or whispers about what went on up there. Because we all know it wasn't just one person. It was several fucking girls by the same person. And Mary Halligan knows this. Do you know what I mean? From day one, Mary Halligan knows this. So why is she questioned about what she knew? Did she contact Tussle? She would have had to make a report on children's group link. She would have had to contact Tussle, and she would have had to contact Waterford Gardaí as it was a criminal offence. Do you know what I mean? And she was informed on multiple occasions of certain situations up there. So there should be a lot of documentation that supports these allegations. And if not, she should be questioned on it, should she not? Because we all know about the nepotism that went on up in children's group link. Do you know what I mean? Hence the reason stuff got covered up for 20 odd years. And then we have her brother, Ray Halligan, trying to pass a threat through me, which is on TikTok. I put the video up. Do you know what I mean? That's a reference to that whole kind of stuff up in children's group link, as you can probably tell if you listen to the video. And the guards won't even speak to him about it. Do you know what I mean? He's blatantly breaching the bail conditions that was set, that which were the accused was left out on bail on the condition that none of the potential witnesses were to be in any way threatened or contacted. Now this dope on video tried to pass a threat through me, and Waterford Gardaí, as usual, won't do anything to fucking like police that whole situation. And this is an ongoing issue, do you know what I mean? But that whole kind of like, and I'm going to call it out, I'll say it like it is. Fucking the name of that place, Mary Halligan Foundation, like, are you kidding me? Like, and she've a host of questions that she needs to fucking answer. And I was working up there, and she watched on while a certain individual was, let's just say, like, at the usual behaviour again, and he getting ready to take girls off in his van. This was the kind of thing that was being done by several girls. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knows that there's several girls, and even if you can say that there was no evidence or whatever, like, you will know by the amount of allegations and accusations that was made that this was going on. So you would purposely keep him away from the girls. You purposely put him around the girls time and time again. And he done the same thing time and time again. Do you know what I mean? And this went on for years. So why shouldn't these people be held accountable for basically enabling this person to do what he done? Do you know what I mean? You had him up there only weeks ago. Only weeks ago you had him up there, and he parking over in the fucking hyper, over in the supermarket, thinking his car wouldn't be seen. Do you know what I mean? They're only going to the routine of bringing him to court. You know why? Because they'll get a fucking rule on, and then you won't be able to speak about it. Do you know what I mean? Let's just see if I'm wrong. But either way, I'm going to read out the messages and the emails, and I'll show you how to treat certain people who are kind of at the heart of this all the time. And there's a fourth person, being honest with you. He's not mentioned in the fucking messages or the emails, but there was a girl a couple of years ago, and she said he was nothing but a fucking pervert. She put it up on Facebook, said it like it is. The girl, she was up in Children's Group Link, and this is before any laws would have to be changed, and someone was able to contact the guards, and the guards knocked at her door and threatened her. A civil matter, do you know what I mean? Someone was able to like pull strings, and the guards were knocking at her door and threatening her because she spoke the fucking truth. This is going on for years. But our Minister of Justice is aware of the corruption that's going on in my case. Do you know what I mean? So she needs to step aside and let somebody else into the job. Let's be honest about it. Trying to please the fucking European Union. That's realistically, how many of these politicians have one eye on fucking Ireland and another eye hoping that they'll get a job on the bigger stage in Europe? Let's be honest about it. Playing up to these woke fucking morons. But David Conan's actions regarding all of this, there's documented proof of his actions. There's documented proof of Waterford Council's actions. There's documented proof of the solicitors that's involved. Do you know what I mean? There's documented proof of Waterford Gardaí, multiple accounts of Waterford Gardaí. Go back to the very start. Anne Carey, employed by Waterford Tussle, doctor in psychology. This is the woman that roped myself and my ex into this fucking religion thing. And I hate even talking about this because it's embarrassing, being honest with you. And it kind of plays into this whole kind of mental illness thing, being honest, because like it's that kind of far-fetched. But it was a cult. I left it. My ex is still in it. I was about to show that. I spent a couple of weeks preparing a file to go up there and for her not to turn up. And had I not turned up, I would have been arrested. Do you know what I mean? This was her fourth. I thought it was her third safety order. It was actually her fourth safety order. Like, talk about an abuse at the court. So I mean, it's this kind of women that give other women a bad name. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest about it. But there's a large volume of evidence that's there. Do you know what I mean? That they won't fucking take. Why won't you take the evidence? Let's just put aside all the stuff that I'm claiming, right? You're claiming a lot of stuff about me. Why don't you investigate the stuff about me? Investigate that stuff and investigate the other stuff. That's fair enough. Do you know what I mean? I'd even take a polygraph. Do you know what I mean? I'd swear an affidavit so I can be legally held accountable for anything I say. And I want to go back to something actually. You have Ray Halligan. This is this dope who passed the thread through me on the TikTok video. Go back to my very first TikTok video. This person, right, befriended one of the girls. This is no word of a lie, right? He befriended her, right? And he basically talked her into, don't come forward and I'll keep you alright and all this. Because what was after happening 20 odd years ago, there was a certain person shot in Waterford. And fucking they played up on this, that it was a vigilante, they were cleaning up drugs and all this. So like a lot of people were kind of frightened to come forward originally, you know what I mean? And here was this pleb manipulating the girl, kind of fucking pretending he was her friend. Do you know what I mean? This is what was going on. And it's long overdue that someone called it out. You have like Henry Halligan. He interfered in my mother's funeral, hiding out in Ballybeg Church, pretending butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Do you know what I mean? But he knows that I know the truth about him because I grew up with him. And who covered for him when he got caught in interfering in my mother's funeral? Bishop Alphonsus, the Waterford Bishop. Do you know what I mean? So we have the Catholic Church, as usual, covering for these kind of people. Like, there's nothing fucking new there, really, is there? I sent private emails to the priest. He was a family friend, and the church secretary deleted the emails from the priest but printed them off and gave them back to David Culnan, who was spoken about in the emails. And that church secretary was Henry Halligan, brother of John Halligan. Do you know what I mean? So these people need to be removed because they're everything that's wrong with fucking politics, with charities, and with the church. And the fact that you're going to try and put a certain individual, only fucking what, 2 years ago, tried to push him into politics, despite multiple accusations. Everyone in Waterford knows someone that kind of was affected by this person's actions. Do you know what I mean? But it got covered up. And now you have Waterford Gardaí tripping over themselves to try and continue covering it up. It's not even the present guards that are kind of, even though the ones that are driving around my apartment are kind of harassing me on a daily basis. It's not really them. It's the older guards who covered this up 20 odd years ago. They're trying to continue covering it up. That's basically what it is. Do you know what I mean? I've asked Minister McEntee multiple times for legal representation. This is a right. This is a fundamental human right that I have, that I'm being fucking refused. They're ignoring, not even refusing me, they're ignoring me. So then they can say, well, you want to refuse because we're just ignoring them. Try to send me back to fucking flack. And I've asked just to sit down just once with the state solicitor and I'll present my case. Do you know what I mean? So it can be presented in front of a judge and we let the judge have a ruling. But they don't want the information that I'm offering getting out, and you can make your own minds up. They would prefer to try and discredit me, gaslight me, and make me look like all sorts. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I don't help myself by the bad language, obviously. What these people put fucking my mother through, like, won't be ever forgotten. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? Roisin Doherty and Leo Kennedy, when they got caught searching my mother's bedroom and she in the bed, not only should they have been fired, they should have faced criminal fucking actions. They should have been arrested. Instead, they got their actions covered up by sleazy Joe Daniels. And I still have a reference that he gave us to try and hide his fucking actions, you know what I mean? Which somebody else in Waterford Council, who I won't name because they asked not to be named, told us that that was an illegal document that he gave, that the Waterford Council, as a rule of thumb, do not give anyone references. Now that reference is still available, but they won't take that. The CEO, Michael Walsh, in Waterford Council, like, he's aware. I've written to him 6 or 7 times. He won't answer any emails. This is going on through GSOC, Waterford Council, Waterford Gardaí. Do you know what I mean? So there's enough evidence there. You would think that the Minister of Justice would say, well, hang on, I'll get to the bottom of this. Even to discredit me, even to show me to be lying or to be wrong, and uphold the good names of these people. But Minister McEntee, you're welcome to approach me in order to get legal assistance to have this presented just once in front of a judge. That's all, just once in front of a judge. Yeah, so I'll leave it there now, and I think I've said enough. I'll make more videos and I'll upload them sooner. And there's a lot of stuff I want to upload. I have a mountain of documents, if I'm being honest with you, an absolute mountain of paperwork, and some are on hard drives and stuff. But I'll show you my case, and I'll show you what they're trying to bury. And there's a certain case, as I've spoken about in Waterford, that they're all kind of mad to get rid of me before that case is wrapped up, because I'm going to read the messages and the emails, whether someone is found guilty or not guilty, being honest with you. And you can make your own minds up on the messages yourself. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to like twist anyone's arm, but it'll show you what was really going on and who knew what. And they're obviously in a rush to get rid of me before that. Do you know what I mean? And if you noticed, ever since I spoke about that thing 3 weeks ago, there's a serious effort to try and push me out. How do you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you know what I mean? When you think about it, how do you know what I'm talking about? It's almost like they know what I'm talking about, without me actually mentioning any names, strangely enough. Yeah, so I'll leave it there, and I'll keep writing to our Minister of Justice, because I want to get a ruling on my case so I can take it to the European courts, which I will. Alright, thanks, bye.